Welcome to Daily Life Connection. Thanks for joining me as we continue to explore this amazing story of Mephibosheth in 2 Samuel chapter 9 and how it reveals the heart of God himself and Jesus' mission on earth. We began talking about it a couple days ago, and now let's move on to the reason that David was searching for Mephibosheth. Because he said that he had made a covenant with Jonathan, who was Mephibosheth's father. David and Jonathan were close friends. And David had made a covenant with Jonathan when they were just young. And he'd said, no matter what happens, I will not only look after you, but I will care for any of your family that may exist as well. So it's because of that David, remembering that covenant he had made with Jonathan, said, I need to find out if there is anybody left in Jonathan's family, because I have always promised to care for them and to bless them and to look after them. And so that's his motivation. That's why he does this. He's bound by covenant. God had made a covenant with Israel, the covenant of the law back at Mount Sinai. And he had said, if you do this and if you do this, if you obey my commands and so on, then I'll be your God and you'll be my people. Well, none of them ever were able to keep that. And so in Jeremiah, it's recorded, God said, I'm going to make a new covenant. There will come a day when I'll make a new covenant with you. And I will be your God, and you will be my people. And I will live among you. And I will never recall your sins. I will never ever again use them against you. I'll forgive them. I'll blot them out of my memory. They'll be gone. They won't be an issue with you. And I'll gather you to myself. That's God's covenant. Jesus instituted that and executed it and validated it through his death and resurrection. And he lives to make sure that covenant is fulfilled. He is our David. He is the one who says, is there anyone still out there who has not been gathered to my family, been gathered to my table, been gathered to my blessings? Is there anyone? That's Jesus. He is the covenant-keeping David with us. And he has made a covenant. And so because of that, Jesus is bound by his love for us. He is bound to seek for us and to search for us. Jesus said, I've come to seek and to save what has been lost. In the prodigal son story, what does the father say? My son who was lost has been found. That was the heart of Jesus. That is the heart of our God. He is a covenant-keeping God, and he has made a covenant to seek and to search for every last lost person and invite them to his table, invite them into his family, invite them into his blessings. That's incredibly good news for us today. So in this story, why did David seek for Mephibosheth? For anyone that might be still out there that was a family member? Because he was in covenant. And because Jesus is in covenant with the Father and with us, he will seek and search for every last lost person. No matter what has happened in our life, Mephibosheth, it wasn't his fault that his father and his grandfather died. It wasn't his fault that he was dropped. But the reality was it had separated him from the blessings of being a royal person in that nation. And David said, I'm going to search and restore that to him. That's God's heart for you and I today. He is seeking to restore us to sonship and daughtership in his family. That's such good news for us today. It's his heart, and it's revealed in this story once again. Well, let's think about that and thank God for it, and we'll talk again tomorrow.